Hello everybody, this is Subterranean Jack, back with more college football predictions for the 2018 season. I'm broadcasting from the Preserve in beautiful New River, Arizona. These are my predictions for Week 3. USC at Stanford. The Cardinals struggled to put away San Diego State last week. The game was in Palo Alto, and the Aztecs were without running back Rashad Penny, who is now playing for the Detroit Lions. Stanford eventually took control of the game, but it wasn't until well into the second half. USC will be a substantially greater challenge, and I just don't think Stanford can score enough points to keep up. The Trojans scored little against hapless UNLV, and the only takeaway is that freshman quarterback JT Daniels is a worthy successor to Sam Darnold. USC-Stanford is one of the better rivalry games out west, so expect both teams to ramp up their effort over last week. Expect Daniels to elevate the Trojans' play and be the difference. Georgia at South Carolina. Both teams had their cake and ate it too last week. The results were not worth mentioning because the opponents were mere roadkill. For Georgia, South Carolina is basically just an Eastern Division rival, a speed bump that has to be overcome on the way to the SEC title game. For the Gamecocks, however, the Bulldogs present a key opportunity for Will Muschamp and his bunch to make a thunderous statement. South Carolina yearns for respectability, and a win over Georgia will pave the way to the promised land. There's no question the Bulldogs have more talent than the Gamecocks, but the game is in Columbia, and South Carolina has had this game circled the entire offseason. Expect the Gamecocks to be well prepared, especially on defense, and to come out swinging. South Carolina will inflict some early damage against the Bulldogs, and the game will come down to the wire. But Kirby Smart has faced his own share of adversity in the recent past, so expect Georgia to find a way to win and get out of Columbia in a nail-biter. Clemson at Texas A&M. The Tigers have made the playoffs for 3 years running. There is a very good chance Clemson finishes the regular season undefeated in 2018. The game at College Station is one of the few serious challenges on their schedule. Jimbo Fisher faced Clemson many times as coach of Florida State. He knows how Dabo Swinney thinks and what his team is likely to do in nearly every situation. The question is whether the Aggies will be able to stop them. The answer is a resounding no. Expect Clemson to play aggressive on defense and somewhat conservative on offense in an effort to limit turnovers and run the clock. Texas A&M may get an early score to go ahead, but the Tiger defense, especially their vaunted defensive line, will shut down the Aggie rushing attack and force quarterback Kellen Mond to win the game with his arm. That's not likely going to be a winning formula. Clemson will do what it takes to get the win. It may not be pretty, it may not be a noteworthy win when the season is done, but it's what a playoff contender has to do to make it into the postseason. Get the job done. Clemson by a wide margin.